This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
It's time for Jonny Athletic, Jonny Athletic, Jonny Athletic. And he's on with Dan Barrero right now.
Indeed, if you have questions for Johnny, brought to you by RBC Wealth Management, the Brad, Sean, Brian KFAN text line is as always open to many of you, blocked in some cases, but not so much others. 64686. Before we say hi to Johnny, for Top 5 at 5 purposes, you might consider monitoring an interview apparently going on right now with some members of the New York Post. According to New York Post Sports Twitter, big 2 weeks coming up for the Twins ahead of the trade deadline as they're only 4 games behind the final wildcard spot. So the president of baseball operations, Derek Fulvey, will join Joel Sherman and John Hyman tomorrow. Actually, it's tomorrow. You have to wait for tomorrow to get the quotes.
Do you have a time? I'll just listen to it live.
It's a very, very
I've
good
got my
question.
calendar out right now.
So Derek Fulvey will join a couple of good baseball, reporting names right there.
Spill the tea on his trade deadline plans?
Very possible. Hard to say. Johnny, how was the trip back from Las Vegas, Nevada?
Yeah, it was uneventful, Dan, which is exactly what I want because, I have an incredible batting average in terms of delayed flights per trip that I take. It feels like I'm Barry Bonds in the World Series against the Angels, or every other one is a delay. So this one all went on time without incident, and I'm back here in the great state of Minnesota. I'm happy to be here. So.
The highlight from a Timberwolves perspective for the reporter Jonny Athletic off of your days at the Vegas Summer League.
I mean, certainly, it was fun to watch the Frenchman, especially in his first game, kind of dominate and really, after hearing so much about him and watching a little film, but actually seeing it in action a little bit, that was really nice. And then we did have a 45-minute sit down with Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry in their kind of grand unveiling to the national stage as new owners of the Wolves and Lynx. And so anytime you get to spend that kind of time with ownership, it's a good thing. So it was productive on multiple fronts out there.
Are we pretty much shutting down our main guys yet, or not so much?
I haven't seen specifically if they are going to yet, but I mean, I could see them still playing Rob Dillingham some just because you want to get him more and more reps of playing point guard and running the show a little bit. But Shannon doesn't need to play anymore. I don't know that he needed to play at all. I mean, he was dominant in the first 2 games, and he looks like he's physically just, a man among boys over there. And so that was really encouraging. But if he doesn't play another minute in Vegas, I think that would probably be a wise thing. But seeing Dillingham, seeing Clark, maybe even seeing Beranger a little bit more, I think that you could justify all of those.
Anything from what the new two-headed ownership monster had to say that surprised you the other day?
Not surprising as much, Dan, but I do think it was illustrative of how are things going to be different with these guys in charge versus Glenn Taylor. And just the simple fact that they had this national kind of press conference, and then they met with local reporters and, kind of separately, and met with a bunch of national people again. They're going on podcasts and they're doing all of these things. They very much are out front and trying to be kind of accessible, sending their own messages. And it's different. You see so many ownership groups in so many walks of life, really kind of hide behind some iron curtain. And these guys are not doing that. They're everywhere, right now. And so then you're hearing about this new ticketing app that they're doing, and they're talking about putting in theater lighting in Target Center so it looks more like Staples Center or Madison Square Garden. They're talking about new uniforms. Nothing that's going to win them a championship.
Right.
in and of itself, Dan, but just different. This is a different vibe that is coming from these guys than was with Glenn Taylor over the last really 30 years now.
Yeah, the presentation seems like it's a big part of what they have in mind. The app became kind of a major, well, not say major, but a medium level conversation starter on, I think it was Friday, having to do with the details. And I don't know how much of that got fleshed out, or even there was much of a chance to flesh it out regarding the obvious question when it comes to this idea of, okay, reselling the ticket, person leaves, they hit a button, I'm gone, my seat's now available. And in theory, that sounds wonderful, especially if there's people who want to spend the extra whatever the amount is, and I guess that's part of the question. But the obvious question in the room was, all right, who gets that money? Does it all go back to A-Rod Laurie? Is it shared? Because to me, I don't know. Maybe there's a bunch of other teams that already do it. It doesn't smell right to me if they literally can resell the ticket and they get all the proceeds from it. Do we have any detail on that yet?
So some detail, and I'm actually going to be talking with the people who run that app, even more so in the coming weeks, just to get a little more detail. Because, on its face, Dan, it sounds great, right?
Yeah.
Like you're sitting on the upper deck, it's a blowout, and so all the people leave the beautiful people seats, and then you look down and it's empty for the fourth quarter, and you'd be like, hey, here I can auction off a seat for 10, 15, 20 bucks to move down and sit in $1,000 seat or something like that, or a $200 seat. And that sounds great. And I think it makes a lot of sense. What I can tell you is, no other team has done it yet. Like, this is legitimately on the front end of the technology. And so that means that we don't know, like, who gets the money. If I buy the ticket and then I leave early, do I get a cut of whatever they're able to auction off for? I'm not sure about that. I'll try and find more details out. But anything, I think, Dan, that gets Ticketmaster and Access and these other, like, grifters in the ticket game out of the business, I'm all for. And so they're going to be, like, going direct to the consumer with, selling tickets, with, the auctioning and all this stuff. And so I'm at least intrigued by the idea of not having to pay a middleman $50, in markup fees and all of these other things. And all the other bells and whistles, those are interesting too. So we'll have to see about that, but it really is kind of a first of its kind thing. And so I'm sure there will be bumps and things like that to navigate, but it is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, I think where it's crucial is what I always believe regarding new owners who come in, and you could say they're not really new because we're familiar with them to a certain extent. They've been here for the better part of 3 years, but they're now in a different position. And I think people watch more closely in terms of even almost symbolically, okay, what kind of message are you sending early? Is it, we're going to nickel and dime you everywhere we can for our benefit? Or are we going to make this really for the benefit of the person who already purchased, paid good money for that seat, or a combination of that? I think it matters. And I think it matters on all other things because, including the arena, the whole new arena concept. Now, I know it doesn't appear they think that they expect to get a new arena publicly financed. But the assumption is they're going to look for some breaks, maybe tax breaks, whatever the case may be. And so to me, that's where rightly people's radar is up on all of that stuff. You can be innovative as hell, but I think there's also, to line whose pockets where. If you tell me, well, yeah, we might line our pocket a little more, but this is going to make it even easier for us to not even ask for a dime from the state at all, then maybe even people could sell it that way. But I think that's why I think people watch closely at the front end. It's sort of like whatever tone they're going to set now that it is their baby.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. That's it, Dan, is like they are the dogs chasing the ambulance and they caught it finally, right? So, you can talk all you want in the last 4 years about what you would do, how you would be different, like what your big plans are. Now you're writing checks. Now you're putting these things into place, and you're going from words to actions. And so now with things go wrong, you're getting the blame and Glenn Taylor's not. If things go right, you're getting the praise and Glenn Taylor's not. And so it is a daunting task to go from riding shotgun to driving the car.
No doubt.
And so there will be very closely watching. But I will say another part of that is their very first free agency, they spent $250 million on Naz Reid and Julius Randle. So, like, they have come in with some aggressive plays. And so I think that they are aware that everyone is watching and that there is going to be skepticism, and they're looking for new owner syndrome and what mistakes are going to be made and how are they going to operate. And so we'll see in the long run how these decisions play out and what they do.
Sure.
But they know that people are watching right now, and I think they're moving accordingly.
So in terms of the arena, and again, this may be premature. I know this is stuff that's going to get fleshed out here, but I want to talk about it in this regard a little bit. Based on what I have heard from A-Rod and or Lori about the subject in the past, you get the strong impression that what they're hoping for is more than an arena. We want to establish almost this footprint around it where we got some stuff to develop, and I assume it would be restaurants, bars, I don't know, hotel, whatever the case may be. So if that's an important part of their vision, does that actually, I don't say eliminate, but lessen the possibility that the team's going to stay downtown? Does it make it more, because there's a lot of stuff that's already been written about footprint issues regarding what's feasible at this point, what's even available to do more than just the arena. So what have you heard, and what is the thinking you think in regards to how adamant they are of we want to be in the city of Minneapolis as opposed to, no, we kind of got this vision, and if that means we got to go outside a little bit, we might well be willing to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that is a big part of why they have not been exactly definitive right out of the gates with a plan. They have sort of kind of bit their tongue a little bit and they've been a little cagey on the details of it because I think they are still exploring all of their options. I think, Dan, if you were to give them truth serum and in their heart of hearts, where do they want to be? I would think that downtown Minneapolis is where the preference would be. But to your point, with the footprint, with being able to develop around the arena, like that's where you take a money-making venture and turn it into a golden goose.
Right.
Is by developing all around it. And can they do that in Minneapolis? I think another part, they have not said that. This is me saying it. I think that Minneapolis City Council isn't exactly known as super easy to work with some of this stuff.
No.
And so how are they going to navigate that part of it? And would they go looking in Eagan? Would they go to Brookdale Mall? Or would they go elsewhere and say, hey, we can get wide open space here and do this? I think the trend in NBA arenas has been to move downtown. They did it in Detroit. They've done it in other places. But Alex Rodriguez did mention that Atlanta, the Braves moved their stadium from downtown Atlanta to Cobb County.
That's true.
Outside of as part of it. So I do think they are looking at all of their options here, and that nothing is indeed set in stone yet. And they're trying to figure out what's the best way to go forward.
The juiciest rumor that you took seriously outside of the Minnesota Timberwolves, is there one?
I mean, I will say, like, talking to a bunch of different executives and agents and coaches and stuff out there this last week, everyone is feeling like the LeBron thing in LA is moving in a weird direction.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see exactly how it gets resolved in any other way than him being with the Lakers, just given his salary, given all of the things that would have to happen to move him. But we have seen LeBron sort of start to do this before, and we always know where it ends up. Now, he is in a less advantageous negotiating position now at 40 years old, making $52 million and with just the 1 year left on his deal than he has been in other times. But everyone has sort of got their eyebrows cocked while they're walking around. It's like, I don't know, man. We've seen this passion play unfold before, and it seems like there is unrest there in La La Land with the transition from the LeBron Lakers to the Luka Lakers and how that's being received.
Jonny Athletic joins weekly. He's brought to you by RBC Wealth Management. Do there was an interesting interview. I don't know. It may have even been on NBA Sirius Satellite. I'm not sure. In which Mark Cuban suggested or reminded people that when it comes to the notion of Olympic participation for the NBA, that he was always adamantly against it, that he fought it hard. He knew he was tilting at windmills for all the obvious reasons, not the least of which is TV. He wants, the latest version of the Dream Team there. But that he thinks it should be revisited again, that the fact that the teams just have to live with the injury risk. They get, of course, none of the proceeds, none of the money, that he believes all would be better served by going to sort of the soccer-like system where basically you were talking about kid players who would go 21, 22. I think the age is under 23. I think it depends on the league we're talking about. That he actually thinks that would be healthier. And I read another proposal, which was, okay, if you're not going to go that extreme because TV would lose its mind over, the revenue loss, not having the big names, at least do this. The new rule be required as you get one run at the Olympics. That's it. Whether you're the biggest star or Midland or whatever, you get one run. God bless you. We appreciate your service. We thank you for your patriotism, etc. But then that's the end of it. There's not going to be any more drama beyond that. There's not going to be any more saga beyond that. Do either of those things make any sense to you? Or do you think they're better off leaving it the way it is?
I mean, they both make sense to me, Dan, because I guess here's where I stand on Team USA and the Olympics right now. We know that we just know that the USA has made the statements that it made. Like when our biggest guys are in there, we are the best in the world. We've done it. I understand why they did it with Barcelona,
right?
And I understand why they did it initially to like spread the gospel of the NBA and of basketball across the world. That's been done. We have the best players in the league are European right now. And so I would be fine with backing off totally because the statements have been made. And so I don't see the urgency to do it. Now, one thing is like these players love to do it. Like LeBron, Durant, all these guys love to be there and be a part of it. And it means a lot to them to win the gold medal. Like that's awesome. And so I guess there's that part that you have to figure out as well. But I would be for U23 and under. I would be for the one tour and done. I would have no problem with any of that. And I may be in the minority of it, but like, I just think that we did it before to make a statement. And now, there's no more statements that need to be made and just kind of go forward and not risk the injuries and actually let some of the older guys rest in the summer times and gear up for the NBA. All of that stuff is intriguing to me.
Here's the rest of the quote from Cuban. What I would tell David Stern and then Adam Silver, I'm like, how in soccer for the Olympics is 21 and under or 22 or whatever it is, and then they own the World Cup, and the World Cup's a bigger event. I'm like, give them more young kids, do the same as soccer in the Olympics, let the 21 and unders play for the Olympics, and then create our own international World Cup for basketball.
I mean, yeah, that's great. But like, how is it different than the Olympics other than the NBA probably gets the money from it? That's what I would.
That's what he's after.
About. Like,
yep.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, if you're after revenue, that's fine. But my arguments against the biggest of the big, playing in the Olympics is nothing to do with money because I don't care if Mark Cuban makes any money or A-Rod or Lori make money off of Ant being there. Like, I just don't care about that part of it. What I'm more looking at is wear and tear on the body.
Yep, agreed.
Kind of all of that stuff that goes into, because we see, guys are tearing their Achilles at 26 years old now. And to me, that's the more pressing issue with all of this competition than who gets paid. If a TV gets money, if TV network gets it, or if a Olympic committee gets it, or if the Minnesota Timberwolves get it, that makes no difference to me on it.
Last item for today from Johnny. Let's return back to the Wolves, because I didn't address this with you last week when you threw out the name, and I don't know if the story has advanced in any meaningful way. There's still the question of what happens to Bradley Beal, right? The assumption is he's going to be bought out, and then it's a matter of where he's going to land. Now, I've seen some stories indicate the Wolves are on that list, others not so much. And so sometimes I suspect those lists are just logical places to land and not necessarily that on Steam. So I don't know what you've heard, but I am as curious to know what you think of that possibility in a basketball sense. Because I'm hesitant of it. Maybe I have too much. Maybe I've come to be bothered by Beal too much because of what he seems to represent. But let's say it's doable in your mind. Does it make sense from a basketball standpoint, or in its own way, could it end up being disruptive to the team?
Well, the concern I would have is, what does he want as a role? Because he's coming off of, he's been paid handsomely forever. He's been, an all-star and all of this stuff. But what I like about it is, of all the people who you could sign with what the Wolves have available to spend, he is by far the most talented guy. And I don't like Bradley Beal at $55 million a year.
Right.
I would love him at $5 million. Like, that would be an unbelievable bargain. $5-6 million, whatever that taxpayer mid-level, all of that stuff is. $5.7 million, I think, is the number. So if you're looking to just add talent, and he isn't a natural point guard, he is a combo guard, but I think you could play with him in several different ways. And so I probably, if the Wolves could do it and he is open to it, I probably would, even if that would get in the way of Rob Dillingham a little bit, or Terrence Shannon, or a few others. I do think he's really talented. I just think he's been, incredibly overpaid. You would just have to know that, hey, you're okay being the fourth option. You're okay even maybe coming off the bench. And that's the stuff you'd have to get cleared. And that's the stuff that I don't know about Bradley Beal, who was only too happy to stay and get his teeth kicked in Washington forever and ever and not go anywhere. And so those are the questions that I would have to have answered if I were the Timberwolves. But from a pure talent play, I like it, especially considering the rest of their options out there.
My favorite stat that has come out the last 2 weeks, and I trust it is pretty close to accurate, is somebody has found, or maybe just publicized, the number of desperation shots that various individual players and teams took over the course of the 24, 25. Well, actually, they've gone even further back than that. And the number that we talked about the Durant stuff, because apparently he hadn't done it in almost 7 or 8 years, hadn't even taken one. Pre-COVID. There you go. Perfect. Mm-hmm. But the team stat that I couldn't get past, speaking of the Suns, the team we were just talking about, they apparently for the entire last season took only 7 of shots that are defined as just sort of throwing the ball up to just get the ball up to see if there's a miracle. 7 over the course of 82 games for an entire team. Apparently Anthony Edwards had 10 alone himself. Mm-hmm. But as odd as it sounds, there is no more telling stat about the mentality of an operation than that one, don't you think?
100%. It is absolutely indicative of that in general. We watched them. We saw the Wolves sweep them. They are a selfish, individual-based team, and they have a lot of talent, and they did not rise to the level of their talent in part because of things that and what they were worried about and what they valued. And I don't have the stats in front of me, Dan, but I know exactly what you're talking about. You know who's number one by a wide margin on those shots?
I think it's Joker,
Probably
isn't
do.
it?
No, yes, it's Nikola Jokic. He is like light years ahead of anyone else in those chucking shots. And because he's all about winning,
Yes.
he does not
He
care.
He literally doesn't
about
care.
that stuff.
Yeah.
He literally, and that's why I don't like, Dan, the new rule that is going to probably be put in place where those shots are team shots now and not individual shots. To me, that's the big illustration of who is a winner and who is not. That's a really big red flag for guys who won't do it. And so when Joker's at the top of that list and the Suns are at the bottom of it, I think that's a very valuable metric to use. And I dread that it's going away.
Yeah,
we can go home now.
It really says everything you need to know. Larry Mondello guy asks this question as we wrap up. Now I think this is an important question given the ownership change. Is it just understood among all the many people who report on the Wolves that Jonny Athletic always gets to ask the first question at every press conference and the second question and usually the third?
Now I'm old now, Dan. I'm
senior statesman.
I'm going into year 22 on the beat. So that's all it is. It's not a matter of talent. It's
courtesy.
Not a matter of
respect.
Anything. Yeah. I think that's what it comes down to. And so, that's where we're at right now. And, life comes at you fast.
It does.
It seems like I blinked and I was the 25-year-old looking at Ashe and Zanoda and all the others and being deferential to them. And now I got youngsters deferring to my gray-haired behind. So that's where we're at now.
You were in a lot of those press conferences in the playoffs, Dan. It was amazing.
Remarkable.
To watch. First of all, Johnny just gets the mic. Like, Finchie walks up, and the mic is immediately handed to Johnny.
I think they give him Finchie's mic,
I think Finchie even hands it to him and says, fire away.
Right.
But then my favorite is when Johnny's not done, he lets a couple other people get a touch. When he wants it back, though, the ball just snaps right back to him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you got to reverse it back to Johnny K because he's got more to ask before. It's unbelievable. It was so fun to watch. Maybe the highlight of the playoffs.
I mean, it's like the games, guys. Like when you're starting out a big game, you put the ball in the hands of your stars.
Set the tone.
You got to.
Set the tone.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, when you're worried about missing a shot, who gets the shot? I take the shot. So, it's leadership. That's what you're seeing. Leadership 101 from Jonny Athletic.
From wide-eyed to grizzled.
I just refer to myself in the third person.
Yeah,
so
well, it was inevitable. It happens to all of us. Welcome back to town. Thank you. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't get Radio Personality of the Year.
I heard that. Thank you for sending me that.
What happened?
I'm very used to it.
Who got it?
What was the publication?
I didn't even know we had it.
Dude, I have never even heard of this guy. My apologies to I think he's a Polish guy. It's like Swazerski or something, but it's like mensoutdoor.com or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how that all works, but hey, God bless him.
I didn't even finish honorable mention.
I got to tune in and check him out.
Yeah, we definitely got to
send me the link, Johnny. I know nothing about this.
Yeah,
I need to
pretty
get
good.
on this.
I'll send it to you. He texted me over the weekend. Thanks, Johnny. Be good.
All right, we'll see you.
RBC Wealth Management. Bonus bucks time. Do we want to try to get the bonus bucks keyword in right now, Guardsy?
We do. Pay is the keyword. Thanks to BigDeck.com. It's your shot to win bonus bucks. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword pay. Get ready to laugh out loud. Gabriel Iglesias bringing his comedy tour to Treasure Island Resort and Casino. It's live September 6th and 7th. Don't miss your chance to see one of the world's funniest comedians, and tickets are available now at TICasino.com.
Might get into some Byron Buxton conversation this half hour, if not in the 5 o'clock hour of the program. Sometime after the top 5 at 5. We've got Lickspittle Analytics to get to between now and 6:30 as well.
News on the mark.
Sesame's workshop was trying to regain what it calls full control over its Elmo account on the X platform.
Elmo?
After a hacker gained access and posted a string of racist and anti-Semitic messages. Any of them have to do anything with Angel Reese?
I don't know.
Could have. Here's the quote from the Sesame Workshop spokesperson today. Elmo's X account was compromised by an unknown hacker who posted disgusting messages, including anti-Semitic and racist posts. We are working to restore full control of the account. Sesame Street, of course, Sesame Workshop is the nonprofit behind Sesame Street and Elmo. So, the Elmo, I don't think I follow Elmo. I mean, I follow that account.
You'd probably know.
The X account, but apparently it's described as, generally speaking, just what one might expect. A place for mental health awareness, for example, and for niceties, and for, soothing thoughts, one could say. And it sounds like it went far away from soothing to Elmo's almost 700,000 followers as well. There was even a profane reference, apparently, to the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. That might be a precursor, foreshadowing to what we're getting into in the 5.
Elmo's not on the list, is he? On the manifest?
That's a very good question. Last year, the Red Fuzzy Monster, eternally 3.5. Did you know he was eternally 3.5?
I didn't, but that makes sense.
Caused a sensation when he asked, Elmo is just checking in. How is everybody doing?
That's right.
It prompted responses from then President Joe Biden and Chance the Rapper.
That's right.
Whatever that's worth.
I forgot about that.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
What I do remember now, and maybe it's vindication for Larry David, if you recall, Larry David attacked Elmo on the set of, was it a Today Show appearance?
Yes.
And got ripped for it.
Yes.
Got mocked.
That was great.
I'm just trying to have some fun with it. He now feels vindicated about what he did as if he apparently knew something might be coming down the road.
Well, here's the thing. I know we all want to believe that Elmo was hacked, but are we sure Elmo's just not showing his true colors after all these years?
That would be...
That's what everybody says, right? When something comes on their account that's bad.
That's true.
I was hacked. Something...
Imagine, though, how devastating that would be if indeed that's eventually what we learn.
I know. I hope it's not true. Would Tickle Me Elmo still work in 2025? Remember when Tickle Me Elmo, the doll, was the Christmas present of the year? When was that?
That's
late
a good
90s?
Question. I don't know. Yeah, does it go back
Maybe
that far?
Maybe early 2000s?
It might.
Could you still do Tickle Me Elmo in 2025?
Probably not. It would be somehow it would become polarizing like everything else.
Yep.
I prefer Paddington.
Paddington Bear?
I follow Paddington Bear.
He's a good follow.
He's outstanding.
He checks in with people too, right?
Mr. Buchanan was simply taking a moment to reflect on life, tennis, and marmalade. #Wimbledon. I love seeing all the parakeets around London. It reminds me a little bit of Peru. At the station...
That's not very relatable. I mean, I've never been to either. It's kind of elitist, yeah. I mean, what is this, the Lou Nanny segment?
Paddington was pretty privileged.
Obviously.
At the station today, I heard the voice say, "Mind the gap." I gave it a long, thoughtful look, then I nodded and stepped over it politely. Thank you to everyone who has wished me a happy birthday today. I truly hope you have a very happy birthday, too. Duffel coat off. Today, Mrs. Bird said the building down the street was looking a little tired, so I left it a marmalade sandwich. That usually does the trick. A lot of marmalade stuff. Some Aunt Lucy stuff. I don't think Paddington has become polarizing, although you've found a way to.
It reminds me of Peru.
Accusing him of elitism. But anyway, Elmo in a little bit of trouble there. That's our first news on the March item. I'll tell you what, let's stay on schedule because we got a little bit ahead of ourselves with Jonny Athletic and had to get the Mondello guy text in for sure, don't you think?
Always.
That was very, very important. I've got one, maybe two more items to extend news on the March. We're guest-free, as I said, the rest of the way. This week is already coming together, including an in-studio visit with Gleeman on Wednesday. We got to figure out whether we give Louis a week off, which is maybe possible. We'll see. I think he's still going to be in town, but I don't think he's going to come in.
That's correct.
And then what else? You had something else already on the hopper.
Craig Kilborn will join on Friday.
With a big announcement.
A few days before the drop of his podcast series that he teased months ago.
So it's finally happening.
Yes, it's dropping the 22nd. He's coming on the 18th. He's going to be able to talk about all of it.
All the details?
Basketball related.
Wasn't Red Fuzzy Monster Sam Darnold's nickname while with the Vikings?
Could be.
Isn't PA a huge Elmo fan? He loves tickling him.
Probably isn't. Maybe that was his inspiration.
Yeah, that's would not surprise any of us around here.
Just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
Guardsy, we were talking about birthdays earlier. Happy birthday to you today.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to Kath, who I may well be seeing later tonight as well. Hope she's having a very, very good day. You have big plans for tonight?
My kids do. I have not been made privy to them.
Is it all kind of a surprise? Like they build it?
Seems like it, yeah. And they've done a pretty good job of not spoiling it, whatever it is.
That's nice.
So they're committed. Good. They're committed to the bit.
Are you the type of individual, though, who it's so important for you to know that they're not putting anything over on you, that you, like, probe?
No.
So that then you can say to them, Daddy knew exactly what you were going to do.
No.
Oh, that's good. That's encouraging.
They have enough trouble keeping a secret. I don't think I need to encourage it. My wife, in consecutive milestone birthdays, 30 and 40, this is embarrassing for me, has pulled off surprise parties. You were at one of them.
I remember that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it still bothers me how naive I was to the whole thing. Because there were so many signs, but I'm just too trustworthy.
That's what it is.
I'm too trustworthy, and I'm too, I don't know what it is.
Too unassuming.
Yeah, I should ask more questions.
Like, well, no, I didn't even think you were going to do anything. I didn't even know if you realized it was my birthday.
Just hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
30 and 40. 50, I got to up my game a little bit.
Remarkable.
It's sad.
You just said hook, line, and sinker, right?
Yes.
You know what that just triggered in me? Howard Sinker sent me an email months ago that I forgot to respond to.
About talking to his class?
I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but I didn't respond, and now I have to I hope I don't, I don't delete any of my emails, which is why on Yahoo I'm up to 4 million.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
So now that reminds me, I can do a search on his name and try to actually acknowledge him, because it was haunting me. I don't want him to think all this time I've been ignoring him. Anyway,
looks like right now I have 53,420 unread emails.
53,000?
Yeah, between
Yahoo,
JG at KFAN.com, as well as my Gmail account. It's not good. It's terrible. I hate to say it, that's Summer League ball. I have 337,960 unread emails. So come back to me when you get into the hundreds. Yeah. That tracks.
Yeah, it does.
That tracks. Well, I'll give you a minute here as I outline the story. Why don't you look for Sinker's email right now? Just type it in,
that's a good idea.
Sinker, because I'll give you some cover here, because I think this story is worth mentioning. It's probably worth spending more time on than just the top 5 at 5. But our guy, former NFL quarterback and Pro Bowl quarterback here, Ted Bridgewater, has been suspended from his position as high school football coach in Miami for allegedly providing impermissible benefits to his players. He confirmed, did Bridgewater, his suspension in a Facebook post Sunday, but says he remains committed to his alma mater. Says the suspension came from MNW, Miami Northwestern.
Yeah.
It's impossible to suspend someone who doesn't work for you, because I think he just volunteers. So if I'm suspended, I'm free to go to any school of my choice, but I'm not going anywhere. So what did he do, Ted Bridgewater? Well, the impermissible benefits, he paid for Uber rides, meals, and recovery services for his players. He also asked fans to donate to help cover such expenses. Basically, made sure that his kids could get rides to and from practice, to and from games.
Yes.
That's why I teased it with, should he be in trouble for this? Technically, he's breaking a rule, I guess.
Well, I think, again, you could say heart of gold. He's not, but yeah, I don't even know what counts anymore. It seems like we're a couple years away from high school players getting paid, aren't we? That's got to be right around the corner.
Yep.
But if he's doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, the school doesn't have much choice if it's brought to their attention, right? Or if it's brought to attention of the high school league, that you're kind of forcing them to do. It's difficult for them to do nothing. I would think it's like.
And other schools have gotten in trouble for this type of thing the last few years as well. Besides just Ted Bridgewater,
I don't know if I've got all his comments in context, but it feels like he's being too cavalier about it. I'm not even. How are you suspending me? I'm not even. Well, if you're doing stuff that's against the rules, it's a distinction without a difference. It means they have to find some way to convince you to not continue to do what you're doing, right? It doesn't seem to me he's taking a very adult approach about it.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We will see what happens. Twins lose yesterday 2-1. They won another series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They wrap up the pre-All-Star game portion of the season 47-49. Could not get much going offensively yesterday. And then the ball got stuck in Brooks Lee's glove. Did you see that?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I heard about it.
They basically could have gotten out of the inning where Pittsburgh ends up scoring the game-winning run, but Lee could not get the ball out of his glove to turn 2. And so Pittsburgh gets out of town with 1 victory. Byron Buxton, was it on Saturday night, had the cycle, another electric night for him. Then he gave away a cycle yesterday, a bike, pregame.
Get it?
Because it's a cycle. He gave it away. Nelly,
think of all the marketing moves by the Twins this weekend. Nelly filled the place, 40,000 people.
Just nuts.
And then Saturday was the bobblehead day.
Yep, and the cycle.
In which if they hadn't had bobblehead day, I think they were going to have like 10,000 people. And then Sunday, I don't know what they had. And as you say, you do the cycle on your bobblehead day, and you save the home run for last, right? That's what you needed, a home run in the 7th inning to get the cycle. We may talk some Buxton later in this show. I know we'll talk some Buxton with Lehman when he joins in studio on Wednesday. He's in action tonight, right? Who's the odds-on favorite at the? There's favorites in everything. The home run derby.
Yeah, and let me pull it up quickly. I'll try to pull it up quickly. MLB home run derby odds. DraftKings. I like DraftKings. I'm sure they have it because this is in Atlanta,
where he has a home
state of Byron Buxton. It looks like Cal Raleigh, your guy Cal Raleigh, is the odds-on favorite. O'Neal Cruz at plus 350. Buck, a good value bet at plus 850.
That's not bad at all.
So I've heard of like 3 of these players. Shows
now,
you I'm just not a ball guy.
Can he get extra home runs by hitting inside the park home runs?
That should count, right?
My opinion, yeah.
Yeah.
Ball goes to the wall and hit it. Because there's people out there catching flies, but if they don't catch it, why can't he just run around the bases? Although that might get tiresome, and then he'll pull something, and then he won't be available for the rest of the season.
That wouldn't be good.
No.
Lynx are right back in action tonight. We talked about it earlier in the show. They lose to the Chicago Sky on Saturday.
That's 12 games in 23 days. That is a lot of basketball.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because it was 11 and 22. Yeah, with the game against Chicago. So that's, if I'm doing my math, or maybe it's 12 and 24 because that was Saturday. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's 12 and 24. That's a lot of hoops.
They're right back at it in Chicago tonight, a 7 o'clock start.
Rematch?
Yeah.
Oh, so doing the back-to-backer thing.
Yes, before they've got Phoenix on Wednesday.
Okay.
So they are right back at it, and hopefully somebody boxes out Angel Reese.
Clark and Beckers head-to-head. I think it was in Indy or Dallas? I don't remember where it was. And Beckers had great numbers, but they lost. And Clark is not shooting that well, but had a really good floor game. I think she had 13 assists.
She did.
Hit a couple of threes. Had 5 steals. She's becoming a defensive demon all of a sudden. And her offense has come back rather slow in terms of her shooting. But her overall game, good. They exchanged a lot of good salutations. I'm telling you, I still think Beckers has a chance to be really, really good. I think she was like 10 for 15 from the floor in this game.
9 of 15.
9 and 15.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So
you think about those two? They were obviously same class in high school, but we forget that because Paige had all the injuries. And that was the other thing. Gino got a lot of heat when Caitlin Clark was coming through the last couple of years.
Yes.
I remember part of the story was, like everybody, it was Caitlin Clark's dream to go to UConn, and she basically said, well, Gino didn't really recruit me, and everyone was like, unbelievable, Gino. How I got kid from Iowa, not important. It's like, well, Clark was ranked 3rd in the country that year in high school, 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah.
Paige Beckers was ranked 1.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing he had to make a choice. I'm sure he would have been happy with either.
Yeah, right.
But when you recruit Paige Beckers, Beckers was more highly touted.
Clark would not have been Clark at UConn for the obvious reason.
I agree with that.
They didn't. That program is not that dependent on any one player.
It's not.
Right? Doesn't mean she wouldn't have excelled and had a chance to be really good.
Should have been the next great one.
Basically true, but that's going to be. We talked about this months ago, and it's got to build. But I think this is going to end up being a really good matchup to follow. But the two of them moving forward.
And they've been probably playing against each other since they were like 12. When you think about it, realistically, at AAU and Iowa, Minnesota, the whole bit. BigDeck.com wants to give you a shot to win bonus bucks. It is our national cash contest. Final keyword of the evening is check. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword check.
We've got some lick-spittle analytics to get to in the final, hour and 15 minutes of the program. We've got a couple of other stories to revisit as well, and maybe a little bit more on Byron Buxton. Don't go away.